Nothing but a beast here. Had to grow the muscle in all areas.
Hey there, Tarot and Astrology for all fans. This is David with your reading for Cancer, and this is for Cancer from November to the end of December, starting today, obviously. And this reading here is probably something having to do with a lot of noise going on in your mind or a lot of noise going on in your heart. The fact that my dog is going crazy at the moment that I started doing this reading is letting me know that there's a certain sense of something within yourself that needs to be highlighted. So let's see what this means, and let's see how this pertains to Cancer. So let's see, Cancer. Let's see. All right. Look at that. It's nice and quiet now. All right. So the Glonkomer. So Glonkomer is one of those cards that expresses doing one thing and saying another. There needs to be a specific union of what it is that you say and what it is that you do, Cancer. So the energy here that I always get is that sometimes we might say things and we don't hold to our principles or our standards or our values, whatever that means for you, Cancer. And sometimes we can go back on that energy. We might feel like there's a necessary need to compromise on some things, but that's kind of the energy that I'm getting here, Cancer. So let's see, 6 and 2, that comes out to 8. Eights usually lead to abundance, so whatever this abundance is has to do with blending your thoughts and your actions together into one, a cohesive whole. All right, so well, there you go. You can't make this stuff up. Your feelings are telling you that you have to be honest with yourself. You already know this, Cancer. You know, when your feelings speak to you and your intuition speaks to you, you should listen. You should listen. I say you could be listening, but some people don't. But I feel, Cancer, that your intuitive faculties are heightened at this time. And I feel like there's a lot of soul searching that you've been doing. There's a lot of looking at things. There's a lot of trying to understand things, if that makes any sense. So let's see. Cancer energy. You have Mars in your 12th house in Gemini. So you might be holding back your expression. You might be holding back your passion. You might be holding back your aggressiveness. Things like that technically are what happened when Mars is in your 12th house. Now, Mars in the 12th house, especially in reverse, there's a lot of soul searching. There's a lot of looking through information. There's a lot of information searching, a lot of mentorship that could be possible. I feel like this mentorship is something that's going to be based off of your values. That's why it's a necessary need for you to align your values with what you think, what you say. Everything has to be in alignment in order for this mentor or whoever it is, this person that's supposed to be coming from your outside circle, is going to be making its way into your circle. Now, there's something about this person who holds strong to their values. Maybe they might be a Uranian type person who's unique. Maybe they might be a Tauran with unique abilities, unique traits to them. Regardless, the Mars energy and the energy of Mars moving into Cancer here within the next week and a half to 2 weeks has to do a lot with you gaining your own assertiveness, you gaining your own power, you standing in your own power, and being able to repel or reflect influences that reflect negatively on you, Cancer. So with that, let's go ahead and draw another card. Mikkalamuckle. So among this whole conundrum that you may be facing right now, there is a blessing in disguise. This blessing in disguise is usually what's known as the silver lining, right? And whatever this silver lining is, it has to do with paying attention to the details of your life. Mick the Necromancer only makes changes that are necessary when he actually sees the details, and he actually sees the details. He understands the details, but on the other hand, some of you guys might understand the details but not be paying attention to them. So that's one of the things that I draw from this card too. Also, I feel like the more you look at your situation and the more you analyze it, the more you're actually going to see within it. It's almost like heading down a rabbit hole, but this is more so done as far as the greater perspective goes, as opposed to, like, digging deep inside your own rabbit hole or something like that. So that's a very interesting message to start off. Let's go ahead and read into these cards to find out what more we can gain from it. So the glaucomer is about illusions, delusions, lust, projection, and clear sight. I feel like Cancer, you're starting to gain that clear sight. I when I was doing the Gemini reading, this energy pretty much aligned with that Gemini energy as well. I feel that if you are a Cancer on the cusp of Gemini, or maybe a Cancer rising Gemini, or maybe even a Gemini rising Cancer, these are maybe even Mercury in Cancer. These are all energies that are leading you towards yourself. They're leading towards self-reflection, and this energy is necessary because if you say one thing and you do another, well, then you're two-faced, right? You're appearing two-faced. You're not consistent and things like that. So maybe that's what this message is about remaining consistent. When you have messages like this coming in, and then of course my dog barking like crazy, like at the beginning of the reading, about 6.5 minutes ago, there's a necessity for you to understand what you might be saying and what you might be doing, and allow the illumination process to lead you in that direction, so that you can actually be more clear about your intentions. And actually being more clear about your intentions, and then having that vision set with your mind and your heart in alignment, is what actually brings it into manifestation. So here's a question that the book and I would even say the Glaucomancer say to you. Have you ever noticed that when we really, really want something or someone, we tend to see it without clarity? The object of our lust looks flawless and glamorous, which should tell us something right away, but usually it doesn't. He says his name is Smoothie Harry, but that may be a little illusion of his own. Unlike the Pook, which is card number 60, the Glaucomer doesn't change his shape to tempt us with our own mental confusion and paradoxes. He simply wears a mirror in which we see our desires temptingly displayed. He doesn't try to fool us, he simply allows us to fool ourselves. Well, he may try just a little, just to make the test a little bit more difficult. After all, we can be more proud of passing a difficult test than an easy one, can't we? So in a way, I kind of feel like you're headed towards a situation of some kind that may be feeling like it's getting more and more confusing, or more and more difficult. Just understand you can overcome any challenge, Cancer. Obviously, you're still here, so that means you've overcome challenges in the past, and that should be a clear message that you can overcome this challenge too. Smoothie Harry also appeals to our vanity, and the more we have of it, the easier his work is. That means become a little bit more humble. As we rush headlong towards our vision of perfection, he need only to step to one side as we cast ourselves at him. And down we go. Not fun, but maybe perhaps we might just learn something from it. Now, learning something from past mistakes, learning something from just looking at its beauty, can actually show you its flaws as well. Now, since this card came out in the reverse, someone is pretending to be other than they really are. So they may even believe, or at least want to believe, their own deceit, but probably not. And this pretense may be because they want to please others, because they lack the moral strength to present themselves and their ideas honestly, or because they simply hope to gain an advantage by fooling others. So, have you been trying to fool somebody else, or have you been more so trying to fool yourself, Cancer? I feel like you're getting over that energy. Like, as you become more honest with yourself and you stop deceiving yourself, there's an energy of the blessing of disguise that starts to appear, or at least you start to become more cognizant of the message that's telling you, hey, there's a blessing in disguise here. Now, I'm not exactly sure what this is about specifically. This doesn't really give me any clues in terms of your emotions. other than there's a blessing in disguise that comes from you being honest with yourself and you being true and being true to your morals and your standards and your principles. It's more of a conceptual, idealistic type of reading, it seems. So, let's see. This pretense may... Okay, I already read that. Sometimes people fool themselves into thinking they are better than others, and it is therefore all right for them to deceive. Although that is invalid logic, it is not uncommon. Vanity can be involved here, especially vanity based on something we know deep down to be untrue. False words like unmeant apologies may arise, or we may claim that something means little to us when in fact it means a great deal. You know what? I've been guilty of that, right? The others involved in the situation need to wake up and notice what is really happening instead of allowing themselves to be fooled. The situation needs to be handled with care, lest the awakening have very explosive, destructive effects. That could be dangerous and deleterious to whatever it is that's trying to be made, or it's not conducive. 111 basically told me trust your intuition, and if something doesn't seem to be all it's cracked up to be, do some research into it. If the pretender is the querent, they urgently need to begin to present themselves in their true fashion, their true self, and their true ideas before things get much worse, as they certainly will, with the ensuing crisis being even more devastating. This is the time to call upon honesty, card number 40, for aid. So, yep, this is the goal here, is being more honest with yourself. And this is the idea here is that fairies are profound, but they are profoundly unknowing. That's at least what Brian rates. So, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Blessing in disguise. Be more true to yourself. Be more honest with yourself. And then also ensure that aligns with your personal values. All right, so let's see what this necromancer here is about, because now this energy is going to be solved by this necromancer energy that's sitting at the bottom of the deck. This is what everything is sitting upon, Cancer. So let's see. Mick the necromancer, or Mick the meomancer. Oh, it's a meomancer, not a necromancer. Okay. Small clues, details, the messages everywhere, patience. So messages everywhere, looking around your whole vicinity for the answers. A myomancer reads the past, present, and potential of all beings in the movement of mice. Mick is particularly fond of reading the movements of field mice, as they are livelier and better fed than church mice. Mick can learn the same things by reading berries or patterns made by fallen leaves or any one of the billion of other things, but his specialty is mice, and he can learn endless things from the way they twitch their whiskers and hold their tails. He sees hidden information in the patterns of growth and coloration in their fur, the way the wind rumples it, and how they preen themselves. Little things can tell us a lot, and everything bears messages about the universe around us. So focusing on the greater aspect of things, Cancer, that's what's being told to you here. I do very, very clearly remember a picture of the previous reading that I did. And this energy has to do a lot with, let's see, I need to go into Messenger. I feel this is necessary, so please bear with me. Okay, so looking at small clues, right? You know what? I probably didn't send it to myself. However, we'll find out here near the end as well. So the entire universe is one piece, and what I do know is that it was focusing on cycles, larger aspects, things like that. Your reading for last night as well was also talking about the lizard in the reverse. So paying attention to the larger picture, not really paying too much attention to the smaller one. The entire universe is one piece, and each fragment of that unity reflects and is connected to all others. That famous philosopher Anonymous once said, "The lifting of a finger disturbs the farthest star." Mick says it works the other way around too. He advises us to make a slow and observant study of the little things and their even smaller details in the world around us. I did say something about looking at those details in everything when I first seen Mick the Necromancer. So He advises us to make a slow and observant study of the little things and even smaller details in the world around us. And he also says that such study is not only helpful, but it enhances our understanding of life. Unity and everything, unity and everything, but it also helps us to develop a joyful patience and a deeper philosophy. So that energy, for those of you on the cusp of Gemini Cancer, that's the reason why you got the chalice in the reverse in the Gemini reading. It's because not only are you supposed to see the possibilities of what could be possible and what can manifest itself, but you're supposed to be joyful, honest to yourself, all of that. And then that's also the reason why honesty came out at the bottom of the deck in the Gemini reading, because this pertains a lot to Gemini Cancer cusps, Gemini rising with Cancer Sun, um, Cancer rising with Gemini Sun, moon placement somewhere in Gemini or Cancer, etc. Descendants in Cancer or Gemini. All of these, they all tend to tell the same information. So, if attention to detail is important at this time, then the little things are not only important in themselves, but they also give you important information about the larger things. So look for the inner hidden meanings look for the inner hidden meanings in ordinary objects, happenings, and experiences. Life is trying to teach you something by speaking to you gently. So these messages that you see, these little what you deem as little coincidences, those are actually going to help you to see these cycles. It's going to help you to understand the greater functioning of life and also the smaller details and how those smaller details fit into the larger picture. With luck and application, you will get the message before it has to speak to you more loudly. Now, body language in humans as well as mice may give you very useful information, so pay attention to that. Especially if you learn to read it properly. The clues to the answers you seek and the things you need to know are all around you. And if you actually use your intuition at this point, Cancer, your ability to read those details and then to also feel the energy and to also know whether it's in alignment or not is actually going to empower you. So, you are surrounded by omens, potents, and signs, but the signs are not written on billboards in large letters. They are in the small happenings in your life, like angel numbers, like dreams, and things like that. And also, pay attention to the words that you write. Pay attention to your freestyles. Pay attention to your poems. Pay attention to your podcasts, the topics of your podcasts, all of that. Pay attention to all of that. Let's see. Be awake and aware. Hint, if you work out what the question really is, it's much easier to recognize the answer when it comes. Very, very interesting. So Mickle and Muckle, let's go to that card to find out where this blessing in disguise is as far as your physical reality. So Mickle and Muckle is a Grig of a good family, and as you've doubtlessly heard, Grigs are merry, so merry that they have become proverbial for it. So Mickle can be foolish, silly, and playful. He is fond of goofing off and considers play to be an art form and himself to be a fine artist. Now, for a lot of you Cancers, if you can be aligned with this merry energy, right? If you can, I say foolish in a playful sense, like, you're just you're a goof. You're a goof off. Like, you do something and people laugh at it. They enjoy you. They enjoy your company, things like that. Now, this is what's going to actually help you to understand and to cultivate the creativity that you need in order for whatever this business thing or whatever it is that you're trying to prepare yourself for. So he knows that all of us have a child within who needs to play and be cherished, and he also knows that we need to make mistakes so we can learn from them, which is how he got the title of a mixed blessing. So regardless of all of the mistakes that you've been through, Cancer, there is a certain sense of understanding that all of these mistakes have led you to where you are today, but it's also going to lead you to where you will be in the future. Now, it might also be necessary for you to undertake whatever it is that you might be undertaking with a childlike persona, a childlike mentality, maybe even a childlike flow to it, If you find something, if you start writing lyrics or a poem and it starts to be funny, go with it. If it's something that like is sad, but you know that other people are gonna benefit from it, go ahead and write it, right? These are all things that that'll help other people lighten up, and that's what Muckle is there to do. He's there to help people lighten up. However, the card in reverse can signify behavior that is too opportunistic, self-centered, inconsiderate, selfish, and childish. So try to avoid those types of energies. Now, immature too. It can speak of clinging to unrealistic notions about security, clinging to the known path, rejecting adventure. So don't, Mickle says, let yourself do that. Please don't let yourself do that. I mean, not only is Mickle and Muckle telling you, but I'm telling you too. You're going to put yourself into a lot more suffering than what you need to suffer and what you need to undertake and undergo. So with that, I do want to also point out that as you do that, look at this. So we were talking about a childlike substance, energy, whatever it is that you attribute it to or context it in. The maiden, having that childlike faith, having that childlike energy, having that childlike expectation of things will be provided for me, and having faith. That's actually what the Gemini reading was all about. So I feel like very much these messages are specific towards Gemini, Cancer cusps. And I feel like you know that. I don't have to keep harping on that. All right, so now we will move on to the Rider Tarot weight. 21 minutes, that's not bad. I feel like if I keep going at this rate, I'll be done by 30, 32, maybe 35 minutes. Whatever this is the universe leading you in that direction. It's letting you know, yes, there might be competition, but you don't have to worry about that competition. That competition is going to fall before you. I mean, you have the world at your fingertips. Gemini also got this this card, but in the physical space, and you're getting it in the thought and spiritual space. So cycles coming to an end. You're realizing a certain sense of power about your thoughts, your consciousness, where your consciousness comes from, connecting to source, connecting to your higher self, understanding the energies of not just making decisions based on your assertiveness and also based on your Martian energy, but this is something that you're realizing right now with Mars in retrograde in your 12th house. This is something that's happening in Gemini, of course. So a lot of Geminian energy. And so as I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and read your chart. You have Mars in your 12th house in Gemini. So some of you guys might be might not be sharing what it is that you want to share. You might feel like the world is not ready for your message. You know, things that affect. And I just had 2 cards fall out right here. I want to go ahead and see what these cards are. Okay, so this might have to do with like maybe special connections. Maybe you feel like the universe is not really helping you. Maybe you feel like you know, you're looking at your situation and you're just like, man, this is annoying. This is unsatisfying, right? This is not drawing out the best creativity that it could possibly drive out. And you know, the universe is trying to show you something, but you got to turn around and take a look at that opportunity. You got to stop fighting with yourself. You got to stop fighting the universal energy. And the best way you do that is by being honest with yourself and actually sorting out what's possible and what's not possible. I feel like at this point in time, there is quite a bit that's possible. I mean, it's just a clear indication that when you get the World card, big cycles are coming to an end, and whatever this big cycle is that is coming to an end during the end of November and the month of December is gonna send you into 2021 with knowledge. It's gonna send you into 2021 with a clear knowing of who you are. It's going to send you into 2021. What am I saying? 2023. It's going to send you into 2023 with intuitive knowledge, but it's also going to be a type of communication that is assertive. It's not going to be overly aggressive, because when you think about the Queen of Swords, and the information that you gain from your own from being honest with yourself. It's an energy of wanting to connect with other people on an intellectual level, because now that you're honest with yourself, you can actually share honest information, and other people can gain insight from that honest information if they didn't know it. But you're going to be a very big sense of inspiration for other people, because when you have the Queen of Swords in the world, that's talking about somebody who is not only knowledgeable, but passionate in sharing their knowledge and wanting a connection, wanting a connection of a knowledgeable connection with other people. You guys are done with things that don't seem. With you guys are done with delusions. You guys are done with things that do not contribute to your highest good. You are done with the things that play with your mind and your heart. You're done with it. Now, there are certain people out there that have good values, certain unique people out there that you can turn to. These might be the people that you need to turn to at this moment, because for Cancer, you guys have a lot of situations that that may be pertaining to work. Like maybe there's not enough motivation to work, to find work, maybe to do whatever it is that you're doing. You're just doing the bare minimum. A lot of this can be due to defense mechanisms. This could be due to triggers. Don't pay attention to those triggers. Those triggers are there to show you more unique aspects of yourself and how to transform and transpire, to rise above that type of energy. In your ninth house, you have Jupiter. So now is a big time to focus in on the spiritual aspects that have allowed you to move forward so far, and also will allow you to move forward even further. Now, you talk about the Queen of Swords when you in this. I just had two cards. So this is based off of the idea that, you know, you've been breadcrumbed, you haven't been given enough, you've been suffering, you've been carrying a lot of weight, and there's a necessity to drop that weight now. This weight is going to be dropped. Very much feel that this weight is going to be dropped, because you cannot be carrying the load from a previous situation and expect for a future situation to turn out good. That's just not possible. I mean, you're only fooling yourself when you do that, you know? That's that Glaucomer energy, right? So, understanding that, yes, there are big things that are going on, big things that have to do possibly with spirituality, or maybe even sharing your own belief system in whatever art form you can do, is one of the main messages that I feel is coming through. Yeah, so because in some way, shape, or form, you haven't been feeling like you've been able to manifest things. And of course, you know, that could bring anybody down, honestly. But what's going on with you, Cancer, is there's emphasis on gaining knowledge or gaining wisdom or applying your knowledge as wisdom in your daily life. You have Venus, you have Mercury, you have the Sun, and you have the Moon, all in Sagittarius, all in your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sixth house. So your sixth house of, you know, your everyday dealings, your job, you know, you're not really a career, but more along the lines of like your everyday job, something that you do on a daily basis to make you money. Now, I feel that for whatever reason, you haven't been able to manifest some things, but I mean, you have card number 1 and then you have card 21. So the decision is actually yours, whether you want to manifest things or not. But I feel like you're waiting on information. So as things end and you start to see the blessings in them, and you start to build a stronger mental base from which to come from, that's when that world energy is going to kick in. And I feel like that world energy has already kicked in. There's certain things that you've come to a conclusion about, and certain lies that you've been telling yourself that you got or that you've gotten over, and certain lies that you just are done with. You're done lying to yourself. You're done lying to other people. You want honesty. You want truth. You want reciprocal energy. All right, so let's draw one more card. I want to clarify this Magician energy, because a card in the reverse like that, when you have the World and the Queen of Swords, is something that I want to check out. All right, so not moving forward, right? But that energy of yesterday with the energy of yesterday with the Chariot in the upright in the feeling space for Gemini, and then of course today's reading for Gemini and this reading for Cancer. It's very, very clear indication that when you understand how you feel and you're honest with yourself, that's when you start to create things. That's when you start to understand how the Chariot moves, and you have a balance between the light and the dark. Now, what's a result of that? You have a lot of emotional stability. You have a lot of power to you. Now, I was saying to focus in on that Piscean energy because that's what's coming through right now. Piscean energy. It could be belief systems. It could be religion, whatever. There might be a necessity to there might be a necessity to reflect your own ideas off of other religions, because there's a certain sense of truth that you could find within those small details, if that makes any sense. That was a specific message for somebody. Maybe 1 people, maybe 5 people, maybe 10 people. I don't know. That was a specific message for somebody. Now, as you start to gain that emotional constitution, you start to understand how you feel, right? You start to understand where you sit in terms of your emotional constitution. You get that perfect connection coming in. And as that perfect connection comes in, there's certain things that you're going to be holding on to, certain things of value. These things of value are going to help to build you. So with that, let's go on ahead and move on to the animal spirits cards. Jeez. All this information, I hope, is useful to you, Capricorn. I'm not Capricorn, Cancer, because, when Source makes messages complete, Source makes messages complete. I feel like you're going to be leaving this reading feeling a lot better. And you're going to have more clear direction in which way to go when it comes to your networks, when it comes to really, really taking the time to make sure that your values align with theirs. Oh, so Piscean energy. See, this wanted to fall out with a bunch of cards. I'm not going to let that happen. Piscean energy, fish energy, coming out of darkness, going into the light, traveling from the deep to the surface. That's what I'm getting here. All right, so you're on the precipice of transformation, change. You're on the precipice of, having this ability to understand what your true power is. Very much feel that right now you're in that cocoon phase. You're utilizing your inner strengths, your inner nutrients and things like that in order to transform yourself. And so you're taking everything that you've learned before and you're perfecting it. Pay attention to vibrations around you as the dragonfly has fallen out. And then also don't activate too much bravado. When it comes to the dragonfly energy, it's about tuning into the frequency. It's about honing in your own energies and then properly directing that energy. The elk in the reverse, it just lets me know that don't get triggered easily. Don't rush to conclusions, right? Something about a lunar eclipse or solar eclipse might be necessary to look at that next solar eclipse to see where it's at. And that would help you to understand how long this cycle is, that's beginning, and also when this cycle is supposed to start. Maybe it's supposed to start during that solar eclipse, or maybe it starts slightly before. All right, so pay attention, reflect on a lot of the different things that reflect on a lot of the different things that you've seen, that you're aware of, what you're familiar with, and reflect it against the things that are unknown. Reflect it against the things that have passion to them. Reflect it against the things that have fire to them. And last but not least, let's see what the last card is. Oh, golden egg. All right, so there is a golden egg opportunity going on here, but closed mouth doesn't get fed, guys, so you have to speak up. Now, you're headed towards that energy. I already feel it. And how do I know? Because reflection. That's technically what's going to lead you to say what it is that you need to say. It's not as much saying what you want to say, or saying what you want, or what might might need. This is energy that's saying, hey, this is what I want, I am clear on it, and I am moving towards it. All right, so let's go into the book to see what the butterfly, the golden egg, and the nightingale in the reverse have to tell us. Okay, so let's go with air energy. Now, with these energies of the nightingale and butterfly in the reverse, there is a necessary need for grounding. Many times we might feel so anxious about various different situations that we do not allow the change that's necessary to occur in our lives, and then we start to feel the stagnation. So the butterfly specifically is about undergoing great change and transformation, but I have the feeling that a lot of you are feeling fragile. A lot of you guys are not feeling strong, and that's because there's a certain sense of something that people are able to use to knock you down with, and that's what's actually affecting you. So to bring it into balance, begin a new daily routine. Begin a routine that's actually positive, right? A routine that's more in line with what you think and what you do, or what you say and what you do, or what you do and what you think. When it's in balance, you're going to be cheerful, you're going to be graceful. The energy of the butterfly is with us during periods of transformation or transition. Since air is the element of the heart, this change usually involves relationships, or if you love your job, perhaps your career. Since transition is accompanied by some amount of discomfort, be extra patient and kind during this time, especially if the butterfly is you. Let solid friends and activities support you like a cocoon. Committing to one daily routine, a meal, a practice, or a prayer, done at the same place and time, will do wonders for lifting a butterfly spirit. Not only will it do that, it will also build it'll build a magnetic resonance or frequency within that given space that would just help you to gain that upward spiral, or at least to cultivate that energy so that you become something creative and you actually make the change. Because the world at your fingertips with the golden egg, and then of course the chariot and the magician and the queen of swords, come on. And the Mickle blessing in disguise. You need to see this blessing, but first you have to be honest with yourself. Jeez, Cancer and Gemini both have that message. All right, let's see the nightingale. The nightingale. I'm gonna read the golden egg last because you have to remove the illusions before you can actually see what that golden egg is. Focus on your breath. That can help too. That'll help. That'll help. That'll help balance you. So the nightingale is about fearless voice, speech, communication, or song. Those of you who are artistically inclined, whether it's poems or anything, I've been saying this all day for Gemini and for Cancer. So obviously, cusp energy. The song of the nightingale is otherworldly, and this simple brown bird, almost unnoticeable among the flashy plumage of other birds, transports its listener to the realm of poetry. Nightingale energy is with us when we write, compose, and especially when we sing. It reminds us that music heals the deepest wounds, which it does. And this card indicates a need to open that bridge between the heart and the voice. So, in a way, this is what Spirit is telling me right here too, is that if it reminds us that music heals the deepest wounds, that means that we're dealing with characters or individuals or entities who are dealing with deep wounds. What kind of deep wound are you dealing with, Cancer or Gemini cusps? Listen to your music or look at your lyrics. Really pay attention to the wordage that you're using, because that plays a part in Mick the Myomancer's energy of looking at the specific details. You know, I haven't really done that myself, but maybe it's necessary to dive deeper into my lyrics and see where I can actually inject my experience and remove things that don't really share my experience. Maybe that's something that's necessary for you guys. But to bring this energy into balance, you need music. And When you're out of balance, you're going to be shy. You're going to feel like there's a lump in your throat, like you can't really say what you want to say. This lump could be spiritual, mental, emotional, whatever, but it's gonna manifest itself in a way that is going to be very clear and apparent to you. All right, so the golden egg, yeah. Numbers 181, or palindromic numbers 181, seem to be important here. That number popped up as I was saying that message, and also as I was looking through the book for the golden egg. So the golden egg is the message at the center of the heart. Ooh, something about the heart now, or something about the heart has been at this message too. The unstruck sound. So remember, we were talking about a sound. We were talking about a sound of the universe. The singer of Chalice in the Gemini reading. The singer's song is never really fully muted, but we just have to pay attention to the soft sound of the music when it is brought down. Usually it's brought down because we're ignorant to it, or it's just beginning, right? So within the golden egg lives a precious sound. Deep within that sound resides a message. The sound cannot be heard nor the message discerned until we retreat from the noise of modern day life, which is necessary, which, you know, yoga and all of that is a necessary process for you at this time, Cancer. The magical essence of the golden egg needs warmth, quiet, and time to unfold. No rushing, pushing, or grasping. Find a place of deep and restful ease, perhaps through yoga, nidra, or meditation. And if you do not yet have a meditation practice, take some time for introspection or contemplation. When the mind begins to settle and the breath is calm, ask the question that weighs heaviest on your heart, staying open to any response you hear. Engaging with the energy of the golden egg is an advanced practice. It requires becoming intimate with our very essence and comfortable with vulnerability. When a feeling of tenderness or gratitude arises from deep within you, know that you are well on your way. Your chest may swell like you are seeing an old friend that's been away for a long, long time. Listen to the message they've been waiting to tell you. Has anybody told you a message lately, Cancer? Something about how you mean more to them, or you mean more to people than what you realize. That your words mean more to people than what you realize. That what you have to share means more to people than what you realize. Because I feel like that's what the message is here. That's something that you're going to be seeing on an everyday level. And that's something that you're going to be enlightened to on an everyday level. So the golden egg is connected to the fourth chakra, which is the heart. And the subtle essence of the golden egg is nested deep within the heart center at the fourth chakra. This chakra is called Anahata and is the home of the self or the soul. By bringing the mind into this center, we discover a portal to the most intimate and luminous space. It is said our inner guide sits there in deep meditation, waiting for us. Anahata translates as the unstruck sound. So is there something that you have yet to release, Gemini? Something magnificent, something truly inspiring? Because I feel like that's part of this message here. All right, so Cancer, well, your energy is there. You're going to be in your power. Be assertive with this energy. I know that right now you might not have that assertive energy. This is not technically a fake it till you make it energy, because you just have to be honest with yourself and you're going to be more assertive with everybody else as a result of that. And what's left is honest communication. What's left is communication that's going to slowly build into whatever it is that is planned for you. I feel like a lot of you are transitioning from a job to a career, or you guys are trying to make the transition from a job to a career. With this, with all of this dealing on expression and change and transformation, I feel like you guys are ready for this transition. Trust your intuition. Be patient. Move slowly, but move ahead with passion. Move ahead with that energy of understanding that this is going to be a positive aspect for you, and it's going to turn out very nicely for you guys. All right, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Saturn in Aquarius. Be patient with your connections. Be thorough with your connections. Understand the structure of your connections and understand what it is that you're looking for. Because once you actually understand the structure and you understand what you're looking for, all of this is going to be fun. It's going to be fine. You're going to turn out to be in a more positive space than what you may think right now or what other people perceive. Changes are on the horizon. Changes are going to lead to stabilities, but gaining stability or gaining emotional stability and emotional honesty is what's going to allow you to make those changes on the everyday level that are going to lead to your own personal happiness. So with that, I feel like you've gained all the information that you need, Cancer. With that being said, it's not to say that you aren't headed towards transformation because the butterfly did show up. It means that it's going to take some time for this transformation to take place. It's probably, probably within this next month and a half, you're going to start to see these changes. You're going to start to see endings, conclusions, things wrapping up. And then that's when you're going to be ready for the forward movement. But that forward movement cannot happen until you realize the blessing in disguise. So with that, I will go ahead and end your reading. If you feel like you like this reading, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button if you feel that somebody else can benefit from it. And also, if you haven't yet and you feel like you resonate with this information, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and go ahead and hit that bell notification right next to it so that you could be notified of videos that come out in the future. And also really pay attention to your values, your values. Yeah, just pay attention to your values. Pay attention to what, make sure that what you say and do, it synonymizes itself, that it draws itself together, that it's congruency. If I had to put one word to this reading, I would have to say congruency. All right, that's enough. All right, you guys gotta go. I gotta go. I will see you on the next video. You guys stay safe, stay free, stay shining like the bright stars that you got. Wow. Stay shining like the bright stars that you guys are, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.